Okay, now that is very foreboding. It's the fact that why do we have to get thrown into this kind of despair immediately? That is not Hiro Mashima's style. It is hope. Then again, he did say that Eden Zero was gonna be the darkest of them all. Even darker than Rave Master. Although technically Rave Master may not have seen as that dark. Trust me, it has surprisingly dark moments when you think about it. But this is indeed the Angry Anime Fan, and this is indeed in chapter 69. With Rebecca having introduced now the Leaper as as well as saying that she should be faster than Arsenal, Young Wise is of course in denial of it, because it turns out that he has that. It goes with the logic that, have you ever heard of a superhero team that has two people with the same power? No, you have not. At least back in my day, that would never fly. It's just bad manners. Isn't that also poking fun at some stories about that? Especially when, like My Hero Academia. Of course, they decide to have a race that, well, Pino breaks because, well, she wants to have it as well. But you all know her, she has an EMP, and given to the fact that every single ability so far is a machine-like ability, although technically we still don't know what an ether gear is, it has predictable exalt. Elsewhere, which still in her sexy getup is leading Homura now in a lot more, well, I want to say modest getup. She still has a kimono, but now she has a kimono skirt, so she is a lot less exposed than before. Into a garden where weapons departure, because it turns out that Eden Zero has a lot of small ships. And she begins to explain to her what the purpose of the 4-star maidens are. It's worth noting that she says that they are to serve the Demon King, but immediately she says also that they're good friends. You know which, though? It seems that I really wish we will one day find the origin story of the 4-star Shrine Maidens. I know it may not exactly be an interesting reveal, but it still begs the question on, did really the Demon King just build them from scratch, or did they have a different origin? I want to believe that they have a different origin, and what I mean by that is, don't forget Hermit once said that she also came from Grand Bell. But we all know that those kind of robots that came there, except of course the Demon King and the Castellian, were kind of, plain looking. So I really want to know their origin. And Witch herself, she doesn't seem to like to be calling herself as a random, person, even though she does say that they're good friends, and they're not ordered around, and they all have, and Homura can behave how she wants to. It's worth noting that Homura was very scared when she said that she was going to have to obey everything the Demon King said. I think she probably was afraid it was going to be naked thoughts. And then she asks that is it still not possible to reach the other region? Is it? Here is the witch says it is actually possible, but she also says it will be difficult because Valkyrie was responsible for the ship's armaments starting in this hangar. So Shin says that she had intended to use Eden weapons to cut through a multiple of dragons with their starfighters, cannons, and night gear. And then so she leads her to the room of code 3173. Remember that door? I think even Witch and Sista had a secret meeting there once. Well, or maybe they didn't. It doesn't matter. But what matters is that she reveals something about the door, which is Eden Zero's greatest secret. Something that not even the new Demon King has to know. And what is that secret? Why, it's not other than... It is Etherion. there we go. They met the strange power that has made its way through almost every single one of Hiro Mishima's works, except maybe those shows that was cancelled early, is here now. First, we saw it in Rave Master. Well, it was the first one, where it was inhabited by the main character girl Ellie, a mysterious magical power that had the possibility to destroy time, or everything for that matter. Then we saw it in Fairy Tail, although it didn't play as much as a level as in Rave Master, mostly because, well, it felt a little underwhelmed. A gathering of magic council members who could fire a very destructive weapon capable of obliterating an entire nation if it could. But then it was absorbed. After that, it was destroyed and never mentioned again. Well, except maybe one time. And now Eden Zero. Its purpose unknown, but which does confirm that it's the duties of the maidens to block the Ethereum, so that they require authentic from all four. So, however, is the fact that she says that the current Demon King or Lady Rebecca or anyone else are not to be disclosed that information is kind of fishy. Does that mean that not even Siggy knew what it is? I mean, maybe Siggy knew, but why aren't Shiki, after everything she said that they were supposed to serve the Demon King, why isn't he allowed to know this? Well, I can't think of a reason, to be honest. But if we're going in tradition, Ethereum is very likely a very high concentrated power. A power that probably must not get in the hands of other people, especially people like Draken Yo. But also, it's worth noting that the power could very well be something that can change everything. And Shiki and the others may not know because, well, technically, if they know, then the rest of the world will know as well. Elsewhere, Rebecca has now a break in a spa where she falls asleep. And here is actually the title of this episode. You know, this episode was supposed to say Rebecca's nightmare or something like the dream Rebecca had or something like that. And this dream was not what I expected. It's a very strange dream, if not a very despairing dream. Rebecca is what we can presume to be a battlefield. They're surrounded by bots where Shiki helps her duck. Shiki does no longer have the patch on the thing, and we see a scar here. For some reason, he looks different. I don't really know what it is. Does it look older or does it look colder? Either way, he says to her to shoot, but she doesn't have a guns. And here is the thing. She mentions Happy, and Shiki says, "How can a dead cat help you with anything?" It is then that Rebecca awakens from her nightmare, now in the care of which she can only hug Happy, being very afraid of that. What did that nightmare mean? Is that meant to foreshadow something? Is that meant to say that Rebecca has slowly gained the power of foresight? You know, there were some people who even said that Rebecca could very well be a past version of Xiao Mei. But if you ask me, I don't buy that theory. Only because look at Xiao Mei's body and then look at Rebecca. Yes, I know that is a little bit controversial in saying, but still, do it. And you'll see that they cannot be the same person. But the fact is that she had a nightmare, a dream that almost seems to predict something. What does it do? Well, we don't know, but it turns out that the sister's room is more than a room. It also has a dominatrix situation with Moscow being tied up in his undies. That's strange. I thought sister didn't like guys. Well, who cares? She's kind of crude anyway. Regardless, however, the episode ends with a foreboding moment where it turns out that Shiki do not like the fact that the ship was hunting them. So, and then although Witch says that if they attack now, Eden Sarah has no hope of winning. So, Shiki says that they should make the first move. And that is that they are going to infiltrate the ship. Yeah, or they probably already has with the guest ship. So Wise, Shiki, Homura, and Pino have all arrived at the guest dock, where Hermito is communicating with them, what I presume is through an air and an air necklace. But here's the thing. Drakenjo is somehow able to hijack that frequency. And he can hear everything what Hermit says. Including, we may determine that they are an enemy and our job will to remove it. I presume at least he is hijacking that signal. Or maybe that picture wasn't that he is hijacking it. Either way, the most important thing here is that Rebecca had a foreboding dream. What does that dream mean? I thought it was gonna be... We all assumed it was gonna be some kind of future dream, but this is worrying. Very worrying. And now they have entered the Belial Guer. Everyone suspected that Shiki and gang are gonna lose against Drakenjo because, well, Drakenjo is a Drakenjo. And I don't like that. Drakenjo is meant to fall. He's a villain. A villain! And villain is supposed to fall. And yet now they have stormed the place of Drakenjo. Yeah, I'm just saying it's not gonna go well. Even Witch thought that they had no chance of interfering. So what can we take very quickly from this episode? Okay, Etherion is here. A mysterious power that, if history repeats itself, is very destructive. Drakenjo cannot allow to get his hands on that. But why is it the 4-star Shrine Maiden's duty to protect it, and even from the Demon King? Second is, what does Rebecca's dream mean? Is that meant to have a future foresight, or is it meant to show that someone is going to die? Unless she stops it. Don't forget what Xiao Mei said. Rebecca's ether gear is the ether gear of possibility. So yeah, who knows? And finally, they have infiltrated Drakenjo's ship. Or have they? Does Drakenjo know that they're here? Probably. What are we gonna see? I don't know, but I am expecting despair. Give me your thoughts if you have any.